All right, so we live. All right, so welcome to the Truman Show, ladies and gentlemen. We got a very special guest with us, none other than Young B, Mr. 901 himself in the building.
So
And
yes, sir.
yeah, so this is going to be an interesting conversation. I'm looking forward to this one too, because we're going to be talking about majority music, but we can talk about a lot of things as well. Because, and I'll just start off with this before we get into your bio and your history. Like how we met each other was from a professional standpoint. We worked on a project together doing business, and then come to find out that we're artists, and you got these projects going on. So it was interesting to meet you from that standpoint and then bring the music into it. So it kind of worked backwards. So I thought that was
Yeah,
kind of cool.
yeah. That was dope for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So so yeah, we can talk about that and we will eventually get there. But I'll just give a little brief intro. Tipton County rapper Young B, Mr. 901 brings finesse with a very unique sound to his rhymes and his journey. The MC began releasing mixtapes in 2008, laying a solid foundation with his consecutive body of work. Raised throughout Tipton County, Young B was rapping by the time he was 12 years old. Earliest songs appeared online back in 2007, and we got one of those first ones. We kind of play a little bit and get your thoughts on it. And
Yeah,
yeah, since then, man, you just been doing your thing. So,
yeah.
um, but before I get into the beginning of it, I mean, how you feeling, man? What's been good with you?
And I feel real good, man. I feel real good. I've been blessed, a lot of major things been happening, and man, I'm just trying to stay focused and level up, and stay on top of everything and keep it going.
Yeah, yeah, that's what's
Yeah,
up, man. Yeah, and I want to get to the latest project. I mean, you got some big names. I mean, some big collabs. But we're gonna start from scratch for the people that don't know you. So we're gonna
all right.
play one of your first joints and just kind of I don't know when the last time you heard this, but you
Oh
know,
man.
oh yeah, yeah,
Ain't
this one
no
right
telling.
here. So
Yeah.
this is Wham, and this, from my understanding, this is one of the first tracks that really got a buzz
Wham,
for you.
mama booty like wham, wham. Little mama booty like wham, wham.
Yeah.
She make it bounce like wham, wham. She make it bounce like wham, wham. Little mama booty like wham, wham. Little mama booty like
Man, you took it way back,
Wait,
man.
hey,
Yeah,
we got to tell the whole story. We got because it's evolution, it's growth, it's a lot of things, right? So
yeah,
we all don't start off where we end up doing the same thing. So
man, that's crazy.
yeah. So like when you did that, what were you thinking as an artist? Can you remember that creative process, like making that and what you were thinking and feeling?
Man, that was one of them hooks that was just stuck in my head. I was just walking around saying, wham, 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 wham. I probably had it in my head probably, I don't know, a good month or so before I, decided to do anything with it. But like once I couldn't get it to like to leave my mind, I was like, man, it's kind of catchy. Maybe I should, try to do something with that or whatever. And back then, I was producing a lot of my own records as
Hmm.
far as like actually like making the beats. Like I actually produced that beat,
Oh, that's
and
what's up.
so I sat down and loaded Fruity Loops up and just try to just start playing with the sounds or whatever, trying to match the beat with what was in my head or whatever, and that's how it came out. That was
Uh,
like that was one of the jumps that like first like kind of like gave me a buzz and put me on the map.
that's what's up, and you produced
Yeah,
it too. So that's what's up.
yeah. I produced that jump. I produced that jump. Yeah.
Now, so let me ask you because about your creative process. Has it changed since then? Does it still kind of go the same way where you have an idea and it formulates, or do you create in different ways? How do you come up with what you come up with?
Uh, I still, it's a change, some, but I still do it that way too. As far as something catchy might be in my head or something might happen in my day, and I just build off that, and I may go find the instrumental later. A lot of times, I'll look for the instrumental first, and
Mm.
I kind of just let the beat talk to me, and wherever I go with it is where I go with it. But at the same time, like I come up with a lot of records without a beat first too. And then when I do find a beat that kind of match, or I get a producer to, make one for me or whatever, I just kind of, take out and adjust, where needed, and I just build from it, and and just keep going that way. Oh, yeah.
And what made you so you started off producing, what did you start off producing because you wanted to, or because it was a necessity, or did you keep producing after that, or
Uh, I think back then it was harder to get beats.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think all we had back then was LimeWire, man, and that was iffy, man. You click the wrong thing, and then you got a virus, and
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it was kind of one of those things where I knew somebody that had the program, and they got the program to me, and I just kind of started playing with it, and I was actually I pretty decent at it. I used to sell beats too. You
Huh,
know, yeah.
huh.
So yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah.
So did you? Because I've talked to some people that used to produce, and now they like one of my homeboys. He sings. He used to produce his stuff. He still does, but now he uses other people's beats more because he's saying this from a time standpoint, just the time to produce. Did that play a factor with
Same
you?
same exact thing.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, just too time consuming, man. I'm more in love with the artist side, versus the producer side. And I just got to a point where I wanted to, just focus more on um, my verses, my hooks, just perfecting my craft from that, perspective. And man, as far as like the beats go, man, like it get time consuming. By the time you finish the beat,
Mm.
like you might not even be motivated to write to it no more.
Right, right, right,
You
right. You're
know,
right.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like one of the main things that's different from back then too, like as far as like go back to what you said earlier about the creative process. Back then I used to struggle with having the beat play and trying to write to it. Like I would like to hear it and then I didn't want to hear it no more. Like
Mm.
I just have it in my head while I write. It used to kind of throw me off, but like as time went along, like that on, I got over that. Like you can keep the beat playing, you ain't gotta have the beat playing, and I
Uh,
just come up with it.
So you used to listen to it one time, kind of get the idea, get the rhythm, and then you
Yeah,
wouldn't want to listen to it no more until you like
yeah,
was time to record.
yeah. You
Yeah,
man,
it
you
is.
guys,
Yeah, it is weird.
man, you ask any of my homeboys back then, man. Like we all be like in the room, and they'll be playing the beat, and like they needed to hear the beat. And it's like once I catch the melody and like the main sounds, that's all I need. I
Hmm,
would go leave the room, come back with my 16, everything on beat, everything,
gotcha.
and that was just kind of like my process back then. But like I said, I don't really do that no more though.
Hmm, gotcha.
Yeah.
So how many albums have you released? We're gonna get to we gonna get to the last one and get into that. But how how many albums you released so far?
Um, I think including the latest one, I think it's 20 or 21, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a lot
So
of mixtapes.
yeah. So when they would talk about your work ethic, they weren't playing. Hey,
Yeah,
that's a lot of work, man.
a whole lot of work, bro. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
yeah, I knew you put out a lot. I didn't know you put out that many, man. That's yeah, that's and that's over. So Okay, so you're putting out mixtapes and things of that nature. You're
Mm.
you're building the buzz, and you start from Wham to opening up for Lil Baby and Yo Gotti. You gotta tell me what's that like? Not Yo Gotti, but Moneybag Yo. My bad.
Moneybag Yo, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So can you kind of walk us through that experience? That must have been a highlight. Both of them, really.
Like from you said from Wham to now.
Well, really the I'm interested in the story of what it felt like. Yeah, basically starting Wham, producing that to opening up, and
Yeah,
like you on stage, like you there, like they looking
yeah,
up at you, and like, and
yeah.
what did that fit? What was that experience like?
Man, surreal, surreal. It took it took a while for it even just really just sunk in like that. Like man, just like I really did that.
Mm,
Like like even when I did it and I flew back home, drove home or whatever. Like it just didn't even. I don't know. It just didn't feel real to me. It just didn't feel real to me. I never forget, man. And both times it was so random and sporadic. Like that's one
mm,
thing about the music industry. Like it be so sporadic. Like it's not like not a lot of structure or
mm,
things like in order. Like one thing I can say, like as far as like my experience go, and I'm sure a lot of other artists' experiences too. Like it be so random and in the moment. You know, no matter how much control you try to have over it.
mm,
And both of them
mm,
situations was like that. I was, just out to eat, out in the city. Matter of fact, I was in Memphis, and I never forget. Like they had reached out to me, but I knew it was a possibility that they might not book me. They might have had however many opening acts or whatever they had at the time, and so I'm talking to my family, letting them know, like, look, it's a possibility I could, they might want me to come to Philadelphia and open up with Little Baby.
mm.
And so we had to eat, and man, probably 15, 20 minutes after I said that, I got the email where they was like, we want you to come to Philly. Can can you come out here? And it was like at the time, it probably was like 2, 3 days into the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't like a lot of notice at all.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So it was like, it was crazy. It was crazy. So immediately, like, we finished up the food and we started planning to make the trip, getting things in order, and
mm,
it was just everything was just moving so fast, and I really didn't think I was gonna be able to make it, but
mm.
things end up lining up and being in my favor and whatnot, and uh it was dope. It was dope. It was an experience. Definitely.
So it was that your first time going to Philly?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was my first time, like with the show with Lil Baby.
What? That's
Yeah,
what's up.
crazy.
So do you get and certain people categorize it certain ways. When you in a show like that, so you say it's surreal. Do you get nervous? Are you do you have butterflies when you about to get on stage, or are you just you prepare, you ready, and are you in the zone? Like how did when that moment hits, what does that feel like?
Uh, no, I don't get nervous, bro. I don't get nervous. I probably got nervous my very first show.
Hmm,
But other than that, I don't think I ever been nervous. Like as far as like performing wise.
yeah.
Uh, my main thing as far as like any nervous or anxiety or anything like that, it'll come from me just wanting to make it home safe.
Hmm,
That more so be on my mind versus the performing. Like the performing is just like second nature to me.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I said other than my first show, I don't think I ever been nervous to perform.
That's what's
Like
up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It just flow. And then like I mean it's like a little feeling there like when you getting ready to go on, like okay, the mic in your hand and you know it's finna happen.
Yeah.
But man, once I get going,
Yeah.
I
Well,
be
yeah.
yeah, I be straight. I be straight,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Soon
Yeah,
you say that first word and it's
it's easy. It's
yeah.
easy. Yeah,
Yeah. So that was Lil Baby in Philly, right?
yeah.
And Moneybag, where was Moneybag at? Was that similar when you did that one?
Moneybag was in Miami, Florida. Yeah, down in your neck of the woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, at King of Diamonds, KOD.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm. I bet that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
scene there, boy.
Oh man, that right there was a whole experience. Man, I remember when we first got there, man, the line was wrapped around the building,
Mm,
and you know, so we texting with the promoter and whatnot. You know, they like let me, you know, let us know when you're outside or whatever. So we pull up, we hop out, and you know, we go up, we skipped everybody. I'm talking about everybody they looking like, man, who
yeah.
this
Yeah.
nigga is?
What y'all doing?
Who this
Yeah.
nigga? Man, they was charging never heard of this shit like in person. Like they was charging like I think like 200-300 to get in. I'm
Crazy.
like, damn, these folks finna pay $200-300 just to get in. We ain't talking about no tips or no money, no ones, and we talking about just to get in.
Just to get in the dough.
I was like, man, that's crazy. I said,
Mm,
I hope I don't get up here and they get to acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I told them, I let them know that I was outside, and you know they came to the door. And they let me and my entourage right in, no problems. You know, they checked the list, seen the name was on the list, and we skipped everybody. We ain't had to wait through no line.
mm.
We had to pay no money or you know nothing. So, but yeah, man, they had the valet in the bathroom. That was my first time like seeing that. I was like, man, this you know that's crazy.
Wow.
Uh, uh, the singles like you couldn't get nothing less than 100.
Oh,
Nothing less
really?
than yeah. You can't go up there talking about you want 10, 21s and
Yeah. They gonna look
51.
at you crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you in the wrong
Yeah.
spot, huh?
Yeah. You had to get at least 100.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a whole different experience. Then they got it's like if I'm remembering, I think it's like 4 stages in there, like
Mm,
4 or 5 stages. So you got, you know, the performers, the exotic dancers or whatever on each stage, just doing their thing, constantly rotating in and out, in and out. You know,
wow.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
It was
I
different,
yeah. I've heard about it. I don't think I ever been in KOD.
man. It's
But
an experience.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's an experience for sure.
Mm.
Yeah,
I remember when I first came to Memphis, I heard about I don't know if it's still open. Um I want to say it's V Live. It was
yeah.
yeah, it was back that was crazy going in there. At least for me.
Yeah. V Live be turned too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but I guess I was shocked to see the bouncer decked in what he was decked in. He looked like he was SWAT or something like that. He had a vest on and he was ready
Oh
for war,
yeah.
man.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. In Memphis for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So you go from that to the latest project. And now, okay, you mentioned it being in kind of iffy. So does doing stuff like that does it stick? Do people notice you more when you're on that stage, or is it just like a one time thing, or are you able to build on it? It seems like you're building on. I'm just trying to see how you've managed to do that, and maybe someone else could learn from your steps.
Mm. Uh yeah. It definitely stick. Um I feel like when you pull like moves like that, all it is you just adding value to your name and your
Mm,
brand. One thing about this entertainment thing is all about perspective. It's all about an image. It's all about numbers, and that's just what it is. You know, and I've always understood that. I understood that early, so I already knew, like, after them bookings happens, like, I knew, like, everything else was gonna change. Like,
Mm,
all right, so what I mean by that is, all right, when the promoters see that, it's not as a it's not a hassle negotiating, you know, as far as your booking price and all of that. It's like, okay, well, man, they had booked them at KOD and with Moneybag and Lil Baby. These two are the hottest
hmm.
artists in the game still to this day. And that happened in the same year. So they looking at it like, all right, maybe we need to be paying attention to what dude got going on. Like, it's a
Hmm.
reason why them promoters, you know what I'm saying. And then another thing too, uh, Paul Tut, man, long live Paul Tut, rest in peace. He put me on my first tour back in 2019. One of the things he told me was about, like, how to make how to make like what you got going on to look bigger.
Mm,
Yeah, and that always stuck with me. That always stuck with me. So performing performing locally is one thing, but when you can perform at your city and not just your city but your state and consecutively, that causes people to look at your brand in a different way too.
yeah.
Versus, like, oh, okay, yeah, he booked up, but he just keep doing the same local stuff. Or versus, yeah, he booked up, but he in this state, he in Atlanta,
Hmm.
he in New York, he in Miami, he in Texas, he in St. Louis, Nashville, like, all these different places, you know. And so yeah, it definitely make a difference. And then the artists look at you different too. Like,
Mm,
they don't mind paying for a feature.
mm,
After I did them shows, all my stuff went up. Like, everything went up. The booking prices, the features, everything. And I understood that. I understood that. Like, I didn't go down there to neither one of the shows expecting to just blow up and everything just go super crazy. But I did know that it was gonna elevate me in my
mm.
career and give me a little bit more leverage to where I can, negotiate and, be in different rooms and put myself in, different positions or whatnot. So yeah, it definitely stick, man. It definitely stick.
Yeah, no, that's real there.
Yeah.
Cause you think about it too, like those artists, they can get anyone to get on stage. I mean, they can, so they getting you from out of state. I mean, that says a lot. Like, how many artists could he have got from Philly that would have drove there?
Exactly.
He flying you in. So
Yeah.
that's something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And both situations too. Like, anybody know, um, if anybody in the game know, you can pretty much pay to open up for whoever you want to.
Mm,
Long as you know the right person or whatever. But in both of these situations, like, I didn't have to pay nothing. I didn't have to pay nothing to open up for Lil Baby or Bad.
mm,
So they paid me to go to Miami, and when I went to Philly, they didn't pay me, but they paid for all my expenses. So
mhm.
pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They paid for all my they reimbursed all my Uber. They paid for the hotel, and they paid for my plane ticket.
Mm,
So I
gotcha.
wasn't I wasn't out of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get all the exposure, which is valuable in itself, right? Like
Come
you
on,
say that,
come
yeah,
on.
yeah. So
It
that's,
was it was it was a no brainer. I would have been
yeah,
a fool not to, make that happen.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
So I want to ask you this because I know you know about computers and things of that nature. I'm curious if you and it has to do with music. I've been hearing about it. Have you been hearing anything about the new AI artists that are out? Have you been hearing
Yeah,
anything about those? Like,
yeah, yeah.
what are your thoughts on that as an artist? The potential of someone copying your voice and making a young B AI and making music with it. Like, do you think that's a game changer or something
Yeah.
that?
Man, I don't like it, bro. I
Yeah.
don't like it at all. I don't like it. I feel like it ain't fair. Um, I think it's gonna take away the essence of it. Like,
Mm,
if you can just tell this AI, hey, write this love song about this breakup or whatever, and then it just populate this song, like, that ain't. I can't really, it's hard to respect that because I know what that really takes. You
mm,
know,
mm.
as far as writing a song and recording it and just the whole process, engineering it and all that. Like I don't like it at all. I'm curious to see how it's going to affect the game and what they're going to do with it as far as like when it comes to like writing credits and ghost writers and all of that or how that however that's going to go. Hopefully it's just a phase that don't really stick. Which I know they implement AI in other industries and stuff too. And I don't when it comes to composing songs and stuff of that nature, I don't think it should be allowed. I don't know what the rules should be, but
Mm.
I don't really agree with that, man. Mm.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting because there are no rules right now, so they're trying to figure
Yeah,
it out.
yeah.
Like, um,
Same thing with the authors. Like you can get the AI to write a whole book
mhm,
for you.
mhm.
Like what does that really say for the authors that's really writing their own books and stuff?
Yeah.
You know?
And what you said made a whole lot of sense. Like when you said the essence, because you got the emotion that's in it, where like you just pressing the button and you're just getting the output. But in that song, you can feel the emotion of the artist singing it. You can it's encoded in there. Where that AI artificial song is just it's dead in a sense almost. Like
Yeah,
it's not there was no life put into it.
yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah,
the interesting thing, and we'll see how it plays out, is because Universal Music Group. So there's this Drake AI that has people fooled into the real Drake, and it sounds like him and all this stuff, and they managed to block it. And this is all new, so they're figuring out the rules and all of this stuff. But it's not Drake. Drake didn't write it, nothing. It's all AI, but it sounds like Drake. So does Drake own the sound of his voice? Does Universal Music Group own the sound of Drake's voice? So there's going to be a whole lot of legal stuff going on with that,
yeah,
and I wouldn't be surprised. Um, and I think they're already working on it too. For instance, Spotify. So there's been podcasts that have been generated by AI. There's a whole Joe Rogan podcast where he was talking to Steve Jobs, and it was generated by AI. And companies like Spotify that do podcasts are working on these AIs. So from a business standpoint, it makes sense for Spotify to cut out. They don't have to pay Joe Rogan $100 million. I got this
yeah,
AI in my back pocket that spits out a podcast every 10 minutes.
yeah, yeah.
So they're developing stuff too. So it'll be interesting how it plays out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess we just gonna sit back and see how it unfold. But I don't agree with it. I think that's one of them things to where you shouldn't abuse it.
Mm,
Because even with the as far as unemployment go, that I think they talking about is it replacing like 3 million or 300 million jobs or something like that?
mm.
Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one. Huh?
Yeah, yeah. So it's like, okay, if we implement this thing to replace, let's just say 3 million jobs. All right, so that's 3 million people without an income anymore. So, okay, yeah, you saving the company money, with the AI or whatever, not having to pay an actual employee. But who you gonna sell the product to
Hmm.
if you and took 3 million people without a job? Like that don't really make sense to me.
Yeah,
It don't.
it don't
You know,
because two of them, those 3 million, because I've heard it said with robotics and all of this stuff about oh it's going to save jobs and things of that nature, but the jobs that it's taken, it's not like you're training those people to take other better jobs. It's not like you're giving them the skills to do something else. Like once that robot takes your job, that's it. Like they didn't train you to do something else or to fix the robot or anything like that.
it don't. It don't make sense.
Yeah.
It don't make sense. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know. I mean, we gonna see. I don't even like the AI thing on Snapchat. I don't know if you got Snapchat or not, but like I don't even play with that junk. Like
yeah,
I'm straight, man.
yeah, it's I don't blame you, but uh one of the things that and it made sense to me, and it's gonna be interesting how it plays out, is one of the guys that was arguing with the whole AI thing was saying like at the end of the day, the the end user doesn't care. Like he was arguing that if they like the song, like do they really care if Drake made it or not? And that's what it's going to boil down to. Like if it's a hot song, does the listener care if it's a real song or not? So that's a question I guess we'll see in the future. But it's crazy that we're even talking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. In today's time, I think you got the uh, people like me and you that appreciate the real thing better. But I feel like there's also an audience that probably just won't even care. And if they like the song, they like the song.
Mhm.
And like, man, we living in some weird times, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
shit
Future.
getting more and more weird, man, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting back to the music. So during that the time that you've been making music, have you noticed a shift in the music game overall? Do you feel it's changed, different, for the better, for worse? Like your experience of being an artist, how do you feel music is overall?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I've seen a lot of change. Uh, yeah, I think, man, I've been making music since 2004. Um, as far as like on a serious note, and really, trying to figure it out and whatnot. 2013, and even if you just go back just from 2013 up until now, like it's different. Of course, we've transpired into the digital age
Mm,
of it, and which it is cool. I still think the streaming ain't what it should be
mm,
for the artist. Uh, for example, let me see. Like Spotify, for example. All right, you gotta have a million streams to get $4,000.
mm. A million.
A million streams is only a $4,000 payout.
That's crazy.
And when you an indie artist and you ain't got all these resources and stuff like that, like unless you just got like a crazy like what I'm saying loyal fan base, you know artists ain't they ain't hitting millions of streams like that.
Hmm.
It just ain't happening. And so I think that part of the game still needs some tweaking. Matter of fact, Snoop Dogg was talking about it the other day.
Mm,
It's like, how the hell, like, how can an artist have not millions, billions of streams and not even have millions of dollars?
mm,
Like, how does that work? And I'm not saying that one stream should count as one physical album being sold. Like, physical copy used to be back in the day.
Mm,
I'm obviously that won't work, but I think it do need some adjusting though, as far as that aspect of the game go.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Especially when you're transitioning from, like, no one's buying anything physical now, so it's either, and you
nah,
barely buying singles now. You streaming it because you don't have to buy it, right? So
yeah,
it's kind of making making everyone go, not making them, but everyone's going one way, and that way ain't benefiting the artists.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And then like you gotta, as far as like the distributors go, you waiting. You only get paid once every quarter. So whatever you accumulating, you gotta wait 3 months before you even get it.
mm,
It's crazy, man. I don't know, but that's when your show money come into play, your merchandise, and you can't just solely depend on streaming like that. You gotta have these different avenues, for revenue and whatnot.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Is that where the shows come in? Like, that's because I hear a lot of artists make their money on with shows more than streams, which makes sense when you don't get
oh
much
yeah,
streaming.
yeah. The shows, money wise, the shows where is it? But one thing I'm looking more to do here soon, or hopefully this year, like I want to get I want to try to get some music and like some shows, like in television and film and
Mm,
stuff like that. I've been seeing where artists talk about how the payout is bigger and you don't gotta
mm.
wait as long for it. So right now I'm looking into that and see how we can make that happen.
Yeah, that is
Yep.
cool. Oh, I wasn't meaning to share that just yet, but well, maybe that's right on time. I guess we're going to jump into this. So, latest song, respectfully, we'll play a little bit of this.
What up, y'all? You know who it is, your boy Jada Kiss.
Hold up, Jay.
Right now with Young Deep, aka Mr. 901. The name of this joint right here is called Respectfully. Shout out to Kobe
Hold up, Jay.
Tennessee. You know what I mean? Let's get into this joint right here. Respectfully.
I'm in at 30 and a nigga ain't do shit to me. Put your hands on a real nigga in that first degree. Get it, split it. We're white like I'm daddy. And I ain't never told on nobody. I can't respect no woman, put no nigga for a kid. And I can't respect no nigga who ain't never checking in. Now you out at every club, but you ain't never spending time. And you cross your nigga out for $20.
$20 in a day.
Yeah, so that's from the
Yeah.
latest project right there,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and that's a whole nother story right there, man. You up in New York with Jada Kiss now, so
Yeah.
you got to explain how. I mean, that's another big move, man.
Yeah. 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 For sure. Uh, I started building my relationship with Jada back in 2021, and back I had this single out at the time called "Working" that I was pushing, and it ended up getting on his radar. Um, and we've been tapped in ever since.
Hmm.
We've been tapped in ever since, man. Like we had done a few things together, and just so happened I was getting ready to go to we was getting ready to go to South by Southwest, the music festival in Texas they have every year. And so we planning to do that. And in the middle of that, Jada he reached out. He reached out, hit the DM. He was like, "Hey man, shit, can you come to Texas, New York?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Like
Hmm.
I'm going. Yeah. I go to come to New York because we was finna go to Texas anyway. So I'm thinking, the money we were gonna spend to go to Texas, we just go to New York.
Hmm.
And Yeah, yeah. I seen it. To me, it made more sense. Cause he on the album, and I was like, it'll make more sense to go get some content with Jada, and you know, I think it'll be beneficial towards the album. I think it'll be beneficial toward the album. So we ended up going to New York, got the footage, and chopped it up a little bit,
Hmm.
and rest is history. As far like that video go, some of it was shot in New York, some of it was shot in Atlanta, uh, some of it and the rest of it was shot in Tennessee.
Mm.
Yeah,
So how in your, because most of the stuff I see with you, you're solo, you're mostly by yourself. Do you have other artists that you collaborate with, or other artists that you work with locally, or is it, or 'cause I'm just curious, are they as traveled as you are for the people that may be in your peer group, if they are, that you
yeah.
deal with locally?
Uh, yeah, I got some I rock with. Kodak, that's my brother. He signed to me. He All Star Entertainment, GMG. Um, I got some other features and stuff that ain't even came out yet.
Hmm.
I'm just waiting on the other artists to put them out.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't mind working with anybody, man. I'm open to work with well, let me rephrase that. I'm open to work with just about anybody. If it makes sense.
Yeah.
Cause all collabs don't make sense. Everybody kind of got their own lane, and some stuff just don't line up sometimes. But for
Hmm.
the most part, I'm willing to work with anybody. From a local standpoint, just being honest, man, it's just a lot of artists, around here don't, they don't want to work like that,
Hmm.
and it just be a lot of talk, and the action just don't follow,
Yeah.
you know, and I get it, people got families, we got regular lives and stuff outside of this music too.
Hmm.
People got families, people got jobs, and this, that, and the third. But the way I look at it, man, if it's something you really trying to make happen, you just do what you got to do to make it happen. As
Right.
far as hitting the studio, shooting a video, getting a producer, going XYZ, and it's to me it make more sense to do it with another artist, because when you collabing, everything cheaper.
Mm.
You don't spend as much on production. You go half on production. You don't spend as much on studio time. You go half on the studio time. You don't spend as much on the video. You go half on the video. Like
Makes
and
sense.
and and you both of y'all getting the chance to tap in each other's fan base to bring more to what you got going.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like the average artist just don't understand that. So that's why you see me do a lot of stuff by myself,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which is they're losing out, in my opinion, because I think collaboration is a very cool creative process, especially when you're dealing with someone that's creative. Because
yeah,
it's like you can come up with something that's better, or they add a special sauce to what you're bringing. So it seems like it's more additive than anything. And I remember hearing Dr. Dre talk about, and I guess didn't realize it till looking back, how much he did collaboration. Like he really enjoys collaborations. And you look over his career, he collaborated with Snoop Dogg and Eminem and Kendrick Lamar and 50
yeah,
Cent and all these. I mean, but those were collaborations, and most of his albums was collaboration. So he really enjoyed that process too.
yeah, yeah. It definitely helps creatively sometime
Yeah, it
if
depends on who you're working with, right?
yeah, depending on who you're working with, because man, like I feed off the energy. And if you going hard, this is gonna make me even want to go harder, because it's not a competition, but hip hop is competitive though.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've always tried to, if I'm a collab with you, I'm gonna try to have the best verse,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So
That's how it
that's
should
just
be,
the
right? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just the approach I take with it. And then it's also cool to, bounce ideas off each other, so that kind of help out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? I know we only got a limited amount of time here, so we'll start wrapping it up. But what do you think? Because you have high lyrical content. Just curious, what do you think about the lyrical content in the game?
It really ain't
I don't know. You still there? I think it might have froze up.
we back.
Yeah, I think it just froze up a little bit. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I don't think the game just really too big on like the lyrics like that no more. And I don't think, I mean, it's some, you got some guys that's spitting in there like that. And I don't know. I don't know. I've even tried to like kind of dumb my stuff down a little bit
Mm.
because I feel like maybe sometime, maybe I'm too lyrical or maybe I'm too, you know, so I find
Yeah.
myself kind of doing that, but at the same time, like I don't let it deter me too much from like who I am and what kind of artist I am because a lot of my fans appreciate that. They appreciate the bars. They appreciate the not simple ABC stuff.
Mm.
So I just finding that balance, I guess.
Yeah.
Finding that balance. Yeah,
Yeah. You're right. It is balance. And
yeah,
I remember this conversation even happening way back when Jay-Z did his Black album. He was talking to some artists and they were talking about having to rap a certain way to get in the mainstream or to get famous or whatever. Like, so
yeah, yeah,
yeah, that I think that's gonna, yeah, it seems like nowadays, yeah, it's definitely more about the feeling and the vibe more than lyrical content.
yeah. It's just a vibe. We've been just vibing for a while.
Yeah.
And you know what? Another thing, man, I think this played a big part in that is social media,
Hmm.
cause people's attention spans and stuff just ain't the same no more. And I feel like to a certain extent, we've kind of been, I don't want to say programmed, but like, you know, like even if you go back to Instagram, like when Instagram first hit the platform, like remember you could only do 15-second videos.
Hmm.
It was just 15 seconds. You couldn't do 30. You couldn't do a minute. You couldn't. Yeah. When it first came, it was just pictures.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then when they introduced the videos, like the videos couldn't be longer than 15 seconds.
Hmm.
So I think stuff like that played a key in this attention span stuff. And then if you notice, like the songs start getting shorter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Notice that
songs
too.
start getting
Yeah,
short, man.
notice that too. Yeah.
Yeah, cause man, when like them early songs and early work and stuff you're talking about, man, it was 216s was a minimum. Some of them songs we was doing had 316-bar verses,
Yeah,
man. Like
yeah, yeah,
crazy, bro.
yeah,
Like we, man, really writing.
yeah, yeah,
Man, she play a 316-bar verse song today. Man, look at you like you crazy, like waiting on it to be over with.
yeah.
So yeah, man. It's just I guess just being able to adapt and whatever. But yeah, I think that kind of played a part in like the whole lyric thing too.
Yeah.
dumbing the lyrics down and stuff.
Yeah, I feel you on that attention span because I've noticed that too. Like just how it's been shortened and shortened. Just in using TikTok for an example, like when TikTok first came, I think it was like 15 seconds maximum, or whatever,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was just like people just scrolling, and at that point, it kind of trained you to 15 seconds, and then if it was 30 seconds, like, that was long. Like
It
that's
was as long. Yeah,
you're like goodness,
yeah,
like some things take
yeah,
longer to get out than 15 seconds, you know. But
yeah,
yeah, I think we kind of fallen into that where you gotta, and just like you say, the songs are short, and even some of the songs as well. I kind of noticed, and I don't mind this song. I think it's kind of creative how they'll switch in the middle of a song. Like one song, I have one beat that sounds a certain way, and then in the middle of it, it switched to another. So even
it changed to another beat. Yeah,
yeah, even it switch up in between.
yeah.
But
Now I like that though. I think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool. I
I
like
like
that.
that too. Yeah, I like that. I
Yeah,
think that's yeah. Yeah, I do like because when like back in the day, like you mentioned the 16 bar, because it was more like structured. Okay, you're gonna have your 16 bar verses, you gotta get three of them when you ain't got a song, you know, and then you may have to
well,
have
you ain't
a
got no
full,
story.
right, right. You know,
For real though. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But now it's just like, I mean, I think it's less structure, which I like, and more artistry. Like I'm liking how hip hop now is it's all over the place, man. I mean, you can hear some classical music in there. Like one of the things I think is cool about hip hop and why I won't go anywhere is we're able to remix stuff. So we're able to take something that's old and make it new. And if you can do that, then you
Yep.
can always, I mean, you,
Yeah.
you can always flip it.
Yeah. Yeah. We the number one genre right now. We been a number one genre for a little, for some time now. It's like we the influence.
Yeah, yeah.
We the influence, man. Look at Ja Morant. Look at what's going on with Ja Morant. That's cause of hip hop, man.
Mm,
And you know what's even more crazy about that? Man, Ja Morant, he got more money than any of them rappers.
mm, that part. Huh.
But it's like I ain't gonna say because I don't know him personally or nothing like that. But it's almost like he trying to be like the rapper image, and like they don't the rappers don't even got what you got. Like
Mhm,
average rapper don't even got their own home, bro. They don't even got
hmm.
they don't even own a house. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's yeah,
yeah,
you up here got a hundred and what is it, $193 million deal, 194 something like that. That ain't including the endorsements and all of that stuff. That's just his contract for the Grizzlies.
yeah,
Like that's crazy.
yeah.
Like a lot of musicians ain't gonna see that much money in their whole
They
career.
all like right,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But he in the club with the NBA young boy. How it's like
Yeah,
it's the influence, man.
you're right.
Influence. We affect hip hop affects everything, bro. Everything.
You're right. You're right. I was watching and I couldn't even understand the language. It was a hip hop battle video, and I think it was in Thailand, and they were doing the freestyle like they do here, but it was all in what whatever they speak in Thailand. I don't know what language it was, but you can hear the guy. He's making gunshot sounds and all of this stuff. That's the only thing I can understand. I can tell. I can tell when he did this, he was talking about he's gonna shoot him, right, or whatever. But he's all in his face, and he's
Yeah, yeah,
he's speaking his language, and he's got the crowd out there and everything, just like we would here, but way
yeah.
overseas. So it was just like whole different language is being influenced by what we're doing here. Just like you said, it's crazy. It's worldwide.
Worldwide, man.
Yeah,
For real, man. It's powerful, man. It's powerful.
yeah. What I would like to see us do a little more is be a little more aware of that influence, because you can actually do something with that. Um, we can do. I think we can do more with that than what we're doing. That's just my personal opinion, because we do have an influence. Like when I just look at just the hip hop culture, how much influence it has on fashion, on just all these things, money, like real money that we influence. But I feel we can do a we can do more. It's our creativity. I think the system is not built to. I think we're at the point now where we could build systems that are going to benefit us better than the systems that we're trying to use now. Like now, we used to have to go through them to get things done. Now we don't. We don't have to. We don't have to go through any major anything. Like
Nah,
we
nah.
can.
You
You can
don't
buy. You can
even.
bypass the middleman all the way.
You don't even. You don't even need no major, man. Just to be honest, like in today's time, you don't. It make it a little bit easier as far as like having people in position and people these people doing this for you, your management and your PR and XYZ. But I mean, you can, man. We living in a time, man, where you can do it yourself.
Hmm. Yeah,
You
you
can
don't.
you can yeah you don't really need it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and I definitely see a lot more. So I think it's a double. It's a kind of double edged sword because it opens the gate to, which is cool. You get a lot more people that are able to produce, and not anyone can make a song and make music, but it also floods it as well. There's a whole lot of let me just make something and just put it out there because I can, and there's not much artistry behind it. It's just because you can. So I think there's a little bit of that too in there. That's just my opinion because I've heard
Yeah,
some stuff that's just like really,
it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that, man.
yeah.
It's a lot of that. Again, technology and social media. Like as technology advanced, you don't really need to go to the big studio no more. You
Hmm.
can you can make just as good as music right in your own home. Get you a laptop, a good mic, uh, a good interface, and you in there.
That's it.
You ain't in
Yeah.
there. I mean, that's kind of how all these SoundCloud rappers and stuff started coming on the scene.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I remember that, man. Used to the gear was a part of it. You have to you get this and get that, but now, like you say, you just get a laptop and that's it. Like, I mean, it's 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 cool in a sense because it opens it up, but I don't think that stuff's coming back unless you're just a retro person. Like I don't see just those miles and miles of gears and amps and tube amps and compressors and like all that's just plugins. Like that's a
yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah,
like that stuff's just gonna be just like a boom box. Like you don't see a boom box no more. Like that's all that gear is gonna be that way, and it's just like you say, it's gonna all be virtual, and we're kind of there now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Most definitely, man.
Yeah, man. But we pretty much reached our time. Man. I know you're a busy man. Appreciate you allowing us to get to chat with you and kind of walk through some of your history and your projects. Anything you wanna mention that you got working on, or anything you got coming out, or any plugs you want to put out there?
Man, we just still working, pushing the project Legacy. If you haven't got Legacy, go get it now. It's available all streaming platforms. Project still doing good. We still increasing in numbers and stuff like that. Streaming going up. Just keep streaming it. I got more visuals on the way. Uh, we're gonna hit some more cities and stuff like that. Networking and performing and whatnot. You got the birthday bash coming up June 9th at the Life Lounge in Memphis. Y'all make sure y'all pop out. And yeah, man, we just working. I'm open to all features and bookings and all of that. Tap in with me. Getting ready to work with some new upcoming artists. Get them some exposure and stuff like that. I'm just ready to work.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
So I
Hey,
appreciate you having me, bro.
yeah. No, I appreciate the time, man. And we'll definitely stay in contact, bro.
Say less.
All right, appreciate it.
Uh, Love.